What's up guys, welcome back from the YgoPro duel video. Next match, Cross-Banlist Cup. Again, two decks are paired up against each other, one deck from 2011 and one deck from 2012. So not too much difference, or at least too many differences between both decks. First deck list we have is Formula Monarchs. For me, this was, I think, the most nostalgic, one of my most, or at least one of my most favorite decks ever in this game's history. Like 2011, somewhat Tengu plant format, Formula Monarchs, access, pretty much access to Fishborg Blaster was still legal, easy to send to the graveyard thanks to your Gen X Undyne, and Swap Frog was there to, you know, send a 3-point frog from your deck to the graveyard, running multiple tributes, Light and Darkness Dragon, Mobius, etc. because of no heavy storm in that particular format. Triple enemy control for the most obvious reasons with Reborn Frog. And you know, the release of Formula Synchron, I personally think made this particular deck, Monarchs, Formula Monarchs, Frog Monarchs, however you want to call it, I believe the best deck in that particular era. You know, a lot of plays, right? Soul Exchange, you know, and Formula Synchron being like, an extender in some way, you know, giving you an extra draw, and most importantly, giving you another engine next to your quote-unquote boring tribute engine in the form of your Monarchs, you know, going for those synchros. Second deck list we have Miracle Heroes, Hero Beat, again whatever you want to call it, right, with Barbaros. It was just released, if I'm not mistaken, with this particular list. This should be Giorlando's list. Was it top 8 at the YCS? I think so. I believe that's one of the biggest YCSs in this game's history. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but pretty straightforward list. A lot of trap cards with a Hero Blast, Gemini Spark in the main deck, of course. Double Thunder King, the one of Stratos and one of Ocean I definitely like because of the absolute zero in the extra deck. So which deck has the advantage? Well, if you can compare both decks, Monarchs should have the advantage over Heroes. You know, Heroes kind of a slow deck, but then again, Skill Drain and those traps are definitely frightening. So let's not waste any more time, let's hop into the first duel. Okay, game number 1. I think I got to start, and that's definitely something you want as a Monarch player, right? Definitely going first, getting the 6th card to your advantage, and immediately, hopefully, setting up your Treeborn Frog. And if it's possible, especially here in this case, opening Gen X Undyne and having a Treeborn Frog in your hand, you can also set up the Treeborn Frog immediately. I think, you know, you don't really want to waste your Soul Exchange or enemy controller here, I think, in this particular situation. So I'm just going to tribute the Treeborn Frog, lure out some possible back row, and then try to attack over the, what's it called, the Alias, I believe, yup. But it does have Skill Drain. Again, Skill Drain definitely can be MVP against this particular deck. There are cards like Enemy Controller that can dodge, like the Skill Drain, you know, tributing the Monarch upon activation of the effect. But still, I have to draw into, well, not Heavy Storm, but Mystical Space Typhoon is definitely one of those few outs if it's in a deck list. I can't remember. But I think so. It should be in there, right? Anyway, return the Treeborn Frog, and yeah, the Formula Synchron, it's not really too optimal again due to the Skill Drain, and this should be a tell for him that I don't have Battle Fader right in my hand. And I think I just had to put, at least take the minus here in this particular scenario and get that Fishborg Blaster on the field to serve some extra defense, right? The Soul Exchange into a Monarch, like old school Soul Control, that was one of the most strongest, or at least one of the strongest plays ever in this game's history, well, especially for that particular timeline, but now it's not really that good anymore. That's a very nice top deck on his part, top decking into the Miracle Fusion indeed, and getting the Shining on board. The Shining was such a disgusting monster back in the old school days. Like, when it's destroyed, just get back, you know, those two banished heroes, like a Stratos, like an Alias, back to your hand again. Card advantage at its finest, and was so devastating. Here, maybe I was a bit too, well, no patience, right? Maybe I just should have set the Veiler and hopefully, you know, draw into a Monarch, but yeah, again, maybe too impatient here, so losing game number 1. But yeah, still game number 2, and eventually have the Treeborn Frog access. Here the Mobius was definitely tempting to use, but we know, I believe the hero deck does have access to, I believe, 2 Starlight Road, and again, running into Starlight Road, that's not really too optimal, but eventually and I believe that's much more important. First of all, you know, setting up Treeborn Frog, and after that, if you have the possibility, set up Fishborg Blaster as well to, you know, get your draw engine and your synchro engine going. And I believe going for Trishula was superior, you know, banishing, potentially banishing the back row if it's not chainable, right, like Torrential Tribute, banishing something from his hand, and of course the alias in his graveyard to make a potential Miracle Fusion dead, right. Well, this is the game in the back, right? Mystical Split Typhoon on the back row, and then eventually go for Chaos. Good old school Monarchs, right? That feeling which we don't have really, not anymore in today's format. Game number 3, and that's the problem the opponent gets to start. My opening hand is quite good. If I go first, like normal summon Undyne, set up Treeborn Frog, have Soul Exchange, have Chaos, have Battle Fader to, you know, hold off the opponent, prevent my opponent to go for some damage, or, you know, possibly finish the game, right, since you don't want to, you know, drop your Fader too quickly. Anyway, this is like the biggest problem of Monarchs. First of all, going second, and second is, well, going second and, you know, your normal summon being negated in the form of something like Solemn Judgment or Solemn Strike, Solemn Warning, right, on the Swap Frog or Undyne, and that's definitely a problem, since no Treeborn Frog, and your chances are declining exponentially throughout the, you know, throughout the duel and during the next upcoming turns. Top deck into Undyne, that's definitely good. But yeah, again, sending Fishborg, definitely not optimal. Fishborg can only be used as a synchro summon if the other monsters are water type, so no Fader, that's definitely not the case, so setting up Treeborn Frog was much more important. The enemy controller being a nice plus here, definitely attacking first over the Barbaros and then tributing away his monster, you know, just in case of Dimensional Prison or Mirror Force, right? We now see that it's a Starlight Road, and now I'm finally in full control of the duel, depending on his back row here, right? Drawing into it at Soul Exchange, but just going to attack, why not? If it's a prison, that's it, and that's fine. But of course we know now that that's not the case. Definitely going to keep the Chaos, just in case. I believe the deck that particular list does run double Torrential Tribute, so normal summon the Genesis controller, try to get some damage in. If he has a Torrential Tribute, that's all fine, still have Chaos and Soul Exchange in hand, so that's all good. But now Chaos can, you know, can force, well, pretty much like force a breakthrough, and eventually Ryza attacks for a game. So very nice duels. Game number 1 was quite iffy, but eventually Monarchs were able to pull through, right? So Monarchs had the 2 points, and Heroes will be left at 1 point. So okay, definitely stay tuned for the next match. That should follow like very, very soon. Okay, yeah, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or a like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.